Life is hectic enough without worrying if your lights will stay on or if there's hot water for your child's bath. So count on natural gas to keep the energy flowing, even when the weather is unpredictable. Natural gas is always there to keep your home warm, showers hot, and food cooked to perfection. That's why America has relied on safe and affordable natural gas for more than 150 years. And we will be here for you and future generations too. You can count on natural gas from Southeast Alabama Gas District.
The new Smokehouse Pizza from Little Caesars is our first pizza with 3 smoked meats. So we got barbecue champion Big Mo Quezon to test it out. 8-hour smoked brisket.
Certified beefified.
10-hour smoked pulled pork.
Certified hoggified.
Applewood smoked bacon.
Certified baconfied.
Drizzled with tangy barbecue sauce plus a Smokehouse seasoned crust.
Certified smokified.
The new Smokehouse Pizza. Only $9 and only at Little Caesars.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Here at Town & Country, we are proud to be an American.
We've had you covered on the inside since 2005, and with our addition of Southern Grill and Patio, we now have you covered on the outside. Come see our great selection, where we make sure grilling and relaxing go hand in hand.
If you've had an accident or just want a new look for your vehicle, come see us at Troy Paint and Body, where we do it right the first time. Our staff has more than 100 years combined experience and can handle repairs and paint work on any make or model. We also offer a lifetime guarantee as long as you own your vehicle. Now that shows we stand behind our work. And our 24-hour towing service means we're here when you need us. So come see us at Troy Paint and Body, located on South Brundage Street in Troy beside the post office. Troy Paint and Body, where we may meet by accident, but you'll be glad we did.
Good morning and welcome to Today in LA. That's Lower Alabama. To you folks in Hong Kong, you folks in Hawaii this morning, Seattle, Washington, Santa Fe, New Mexico, Tucson, Arizona. Just names that come off my top of my head. Detroit, Michigan. Of course, we're in Lower Alabama this morning talking to you on a cool morning. Yes. And of course, we're going to have 2 or 3 cool mornings here in a row, and then it's going to warm back up, thankfully.
Yeah, I think they say more rain this weekend, too. So.
And you know, you folks out there that are not getting AEA holidays, and of course the Troy City schools are not on AEA break, but the university is. Yeah. Why is that?
I don't know why they do it.
It's happened for years, where Troy University has their spring break separate from the high schools.
Well, the county schools are out this week.
Are they? Okay.
They are, but the city, I don't know why.
Pike Liberal Arts Town?
I don't know about Pike Lib, I'm not sure.
I don't think they are either. Yeah. I think they're at another time. But I tell you, I just can't get over because of the inconvenience.
Yeah,
you know?
It's difficult.
You know these university people have kids in school,
right.
You know,
That's
and
right.
want to have a vacation or whatever. And I tell you what, some parents will just pull them out.
That's true. Some will just go and not worry about it.
Exactly, no question about it. Of course, it is March Madness, and we're going to take a look at our brackets this morning a little bit. We've got a treat for you. Coming up at 7:30 is former Troy University head basketball coach Don Maestri is going to be our guest. He's going to be calling in from College Station, Texas, and of course he's now assistant coach at Texas A&M, and they'll be playing Providence on the 15th, and they're going to play in Charlotte. So the Providence, do you know their nickname?
I don't.
The Friars.
The Friars.
The Friars of Providence, and of course Texas A&M, good basketball team, and of course Don Maestri's. I think this is his 2nd year at Texas A&M, and he's boy, they were smart to get a guy like him.
He knows the basketball world.
And of course, you know, I think he does some coaching, but more than anything, he just oversees the program. Yeah. You know, and sort of consults the program, and you know, we'll find out more and more about exactly what he does, but. Of course, a very good friend of ours and a friend of our community. He loves Troy. He said he thinks about us every day. And I was sitting in Cheryl Crow's office yesterday, and I said, you know, when was the last time you talked to Don Mace? She said, well, I call him all the time.
Really?
Yeah, and I said, well, get him on the phone.
So you made
and that's what we did, exactly right. course, taking a look at the Messenger, and ladies and gentlemen, this is not the Troy Messenger. This is the best in tow.
That's right.
This is a tow service now available. Troy Wood, Bill Wood has been named Driver of the Year for Tyler Transport in Troy. And in addition to being first choice, which truck to drive Wood received a $1,000 bonus, so that's nice.
Yeah.
And he's works for Tyler Transport.
Yeah, that's a company owned by a guy that grew up
Tyler,
in Troy. Lee Hussey.
Lee Hussey, no question about it. Of course, our good friend Jeffrey Bennett, Hoss dad, was on our show yesterday, and of course, this show is brought to you by Sanders Truck Lines, right here in Troy, Alabama, and of course, delivering freight all over the country.
Yep.
And of course, with over 750 trucks on the road pretty much all the time.
It's hard to believe.
That's a lot of trucks, and of course, right now they're giving away $1,000 as an incentive to go to work with their company, and of course, quite a career you can make with Sanders Truck Lines, and of course, they've got insurance, they've got 401k, they've got they'll pay if you go to driver's school and go to work with them. They'll pay for the cost of that driver's school. It's just a first-class organization, and I'll tell you one thing: you'll always drive a clean truck.
He Hoss Daddy, I think, prides himself on having clean trucks and good equipment.
Exactly, and it's just a lot of pride that goes into it. And let me tell you, I've known Wiley Sanders all my life. I used to play in the front yard, 2 doors down from where he lived, and he's always been that way.
Just a regular guy.
He is, and at the same time, he didn't build a fortune by being a person that was not sharp and wanting to be the best he could be, and also everything that you've ever seen belongs to him or Kenny Campbell, but it looks like a state park.
That's right, taken care of.
And they take care of their products, and they take care of their business, and of course we appreciate them very much being a part of our show. Of course, I want to mention Troy native Bobby John Drinker, named AIDT Training Manager. You remember Bobby John's only movie star to ever come out of Troy, is that right?
Famous from being on The Survivor a couple of times.
AIDT in Montgomery is pleased to announce the promotion of Bobby John Drinker to the position of training manager. And of course, they train industrial people.
Right.
Like if a company comes to a town, they need trained workers, and they're trained at this school. ADECA, I think, is the Alabama Development Office, is the lead agency here, and of course, Bobby John graduated in 2003 from Charles Simpson. That's about your age, isn't he?
He's about he's about 10 years younger than me.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize you were such an old man.
I graduated in '89.
Of course, his name is Stephen Curtis, and you go by Steve or Stephen?
Stephen to most people. My mom calls me Steve, but
what does Joe Falk call you?
He calls me Stephen.
Okay.
He does.
Well, see,
he had a birthday yesterday too. I heard.
Oh, did he? Well, happy birthday to you, Joe, and Joe Rast. You know
Rastus.
that. Yeah, Rastus Falk.
That's what Calhoun calls him.
That's right, Joe Rast. Well, all of his old fraternity brothers at the University of Alabama called him Joe Rast.
Right.
In fact, I would have to say this guy from Abbeville, Alabama, is probably one of the most distinguished attorneys in the state of Alabama. He called him Joe Rast.
You know why they call him the Rast? You know where that's from? Because his middle name's Erastus.
Oh, I knew that. Yeah, exactly. Joe Rast, right. And of course, that attorney I'm thinking about wears a different suit every day.
Really? From Abbeville?
Yeah, I handle all of the one of the top lawyers of the state, and he of course is originally from Abbeville, and Joe he's a dog track lawyer.
McGregor.
Not McGregor.
Espy.
Joe Espy. I was
yeah.
to say Espy. And of course, from Abbeville, and he's one of the top attorneys in the country.
You're right.
And and you look at him and you see him on TV, and you say, well, I do believe the guy's got a different suit on every time you see him. I like to see his wardrobe.
He's probably
and
got
ties, boy, he's got them.
That's right.
And of course, I used to be that way. I used to be like you, starch collars, a tie every day, and every now and then I'll wear one, but not much. And I just say it's just a shame that I've got so many good-looking ties and don't ever wear them. Good morning, young today in LA. How you doing?
Hey, Mike. Don Maestri.
Don Maestri. Ladies and gentlemen, Don Maestri, former Troy University head basketball coach, now an assistant coach at Texas A&M. Is that right?
Gig 'em Aggies.
Gig 'em Aggies. Is that one of the fight songs? Gig 'em Aggies.
That's a big thing, like Go Trojans.
Yeah, exactly right. Of course, Stephen Curtis is sitting right next to me. You know Stephen, don't you?
Heck yeah, he did a lot of work for me. Got me out of a lot of trouble.
Hey, Coach, how are you this morning?
Well, and I tell you this, I was out and about last night, and I ran into a young lady who hailed from Brent, Alabama, that says that she and your wife are real good friends.
Well, Sharon worked at the middle school for a long time.
That's right. She teaches at the middle school. Grantham, her last name's Grantham, or Graham, or Grantham. Wanted me to say hello this morning, and of course, Don, man, it's so good to hear from you, friend. I miss you every day.
Yeah, we miss you here in Troy.
Well, I miss Troy. I have a lot of great friends, and matter of fact, Stephen's wife, she taught Michael when he was in elementary school, so we have a lot of ties, a lot of connections, a lot of unbelievably great memories.
Oh, yeah, and when I was 258, I was sitting there with 258. But you know, Don, and I tell people, I wear a ring, and I wear it proudly. This is a ring that Troy got after going to the first ever NCAA championships. That was back, let's see, I'll look at my ring and tell you exactly what year it was, Don. It was
2003.
2003. We went to Nashville and had a great time in Nashville, and we lost to Xavier. Didn't shoot well in the first half, shot lights out, and almost came back and beat them in the second half. But that ring I wear regularly. Let me just tell you the kind of fellow this guy is. You know, he didn't have to give me a ring. I mean, I was a sort of a sports booster guy, but, you know, we didn't do a whole lot back then. But every time you would win something, Don would come up and said, Mike, what size ring do you wear? I said, and you know, that was a very nice thing, something I really appreciated, and I have worn those rings, I promise you.
Well, you've always been a great supporter, not only of me, but of Troy and Troy State at the time.
Right.
And, you know, I've seen a lot of fans over my time, and even here at Texas A&M, they've got some phenomenal fans and great traditions. But you have to be one of the. I used to always say, if they cut you, little bitty, instead of blood coming out, would be those little Trojans.
Well, hey, let me tell you, coming from you, that is quite an honor to hear that. It makes me very humble to hear that. Of course, Don Maestri, not only a great coach, Don, but a great person and a godly person. And let me tell you, we talk about our Lord and Savior on this show, and I know your faith means a lot to you.
Well, it started years ago when I was in New Orleans growing up, because I got in kindergarten. They put you in Catholic school, so you had to get brainwashed at an early age, and then later on you developed real true belief. And then when I
can see you right now with that black robe on. You'd been a great priest.
I don't know about that.
And you would be working in the down in New Orleans, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, a native of New Orleans, Louisiana, and of course, coached at Holy Cross High School in downtown New Orleans, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And you know, I ran into a guy, and I know Tillette and all those guys came from down there, but somebody recently I ran into that actually played for you and I'm trying to think of his name. But he said, you know, I played with Coach Maestri, played for you at Catholic, and that was a great basketball program, wasn't it?
We won 200 games in 10 years I was at, and had I think we went to the playoffs 6 times. So we had a great time. I didn't even know what I was doing. I just started shaving.
Yeah. Well, now you went and played a little at Southern Miss, and then you left Southern Miss. Did you go to Mississippi State after Southern Miss?
No, I went after I coached at Holy Cross New Orleans. Then I got the chance to get into the Mississippi State and the SEC, and then from there to University of Alabama with Coach Wimp.
Now you did you coach for the defensive guru at Mississippi State? What was his name? He's the defensive guru.
The guys that I was with, Dave Farrar was the real great defensive coach that was with when I was there.
Yeah.
But they've had a lot of.
I was trying to think of that guy's name and wanted to know what he's doing now. But you said at last.
I guarantee you one thing: he's not coaching.
Oh. Well, of course, after that, you went on to the University of Alabama and coached under Coach Wimp Sanderson in some of Alabama's best programs ever. Don.
Yeah, we lost in the Sweet 16 to Michael Jordan in North Carolina, who went on to win the national championship. We lost by 4 points, and that was when. That's when I realized I didn't know a heck of a lot about basketball. That was my scout, and I wrote down there. I think I may have saved that just for to show how when you're young, how you think, how smart you think you are. And I turned the report into Wimp, and I had freshman Michael Jordan. They had 4 starting seniors at North Carolina. Great team, and this freshman, I said, very good player, good athlete, probably can't hurt us.
Well, now
Michael Jordan.
Yeah. Wow. Now, did you coach on the team that Indiana stole the ball away from us at half court and drove the length of the floor and beat us? Was you on that staff?
No, I wasn't on that staff. I was by that time I had gotten over to Troy, and it was Troy was. It's an amazing. When I first got there was so many people that were excited about trying to get the basketball program started. They hadn't had a winning season in 5 years, and so we came up with the Showtime idea.
Oh boy, you did!
A lot of townspeople.
Have you ever talked to other people from other programs about what you did to promote?
Not, that's been a while ago, so it's not. But back then, we had made probably every newspaper in the state of Alabama. We had started drawing 1,500 fans a game the first 2 years, which was, considering they were drawing 200 or 300 prior to that. So everybody got excited about it. We had people in town like Sheryl Crow and Susan Murphy and Donna Horn and Horn Beverage, and they had the red and white Budweiser.
No, wait a minute. Chicken and beer. You can't beat it, man. You can't beat it.
Coach, what year was it that you came to Troy?
83.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Coach, something that Coach and I reflect on a little bit. I was officiating basketball back then, and there was a young man over in Brantley named Person, and there was a young man in Andalusia named Robert Ory. And while I would be officiating a game, they'd be up in the stands. They'd be 10 or 12 different colored jackets, guys wearing different colored jackets. Well, Coach Maestri be sitting up there in a red sport coat. Isn't that right, Coach?
Yep.
Yeah, and of course,
Troy.
That's right. Well, no, you up there though recruiting for Alabama when you were looking at Person and Ory.
When I first saw you officiating, I went to Brantley a bunch, and I went to Andalusia, and that's when I was wearing the Alabama coat.
And it just so happened Robert Ory, he persuaded him to go to Alabama. Now you got Person went to Auburn, and but you got Robert Ory to come to Troy.
When he went to Alabama, I had just.
To go to Alabama,
signed Robert Ory, but I was involved more with a kid named Enos Wadley and Bobby Lee.
Yeah, that's right, and Bobby Lee Hurt and all those great ones.
Yeah.
But then the Troy thing was that was, 31 of the best years of my life. I got to meet Sharon, my wife.
That's right. Hey, was she one of? Did you teach her in school? She was a young junior miss from Ohio, wasn't she?
I taught basketball theory class for 31 years at Troy, and all those students, I used to tell them, make sure you get married late.
Oh boy! And of course, the rest is history.
Don't get married early because you don't have time for a wife or family when you first start off. It's about 10 to 15 years and 7 days a week. So
something that you did that you started at Troy that has come back to us, Don, is the airplane toss. The last 3 games of the year, we had an airplane toss. Yeah. Hold on one second, Don. I'm gonna bring somebody else on. Hold on 1 minute.
Okay.
If I lose you now, please call me back. Now, if I lose you,
I got you.
Okay, Don, you still on?
No, he was on.
Okay, Don, you still on?
Yeah.
Okay, Don, make sure we'll bring
Mr. Lawson.
Mike Amos. I don't know who it is calling in, but Don, first of all, what I remember more than anything is you brought in the dribbler, the little red-headed dribbler.
Yeah, Chan Gailey's son was one of them.
Yeah, that's right. And then you brought in the unicycle girl, Mr. Dunn.
Barnett's daughter.
That's right. Yeah. Boy, wasn't she pretty? And she came in riding a unicycle all the way around the gym. Yep. I don't know if anybody in college basketball did what you did to promote the program.
Well, it was fun. It was a great, it was fun for me too, and for David Felix, who, he used to say, "Well, when are we going to start practicing basketball?"
And of course, David was a guy that was with you for how many years?
31 years. David
31 years.
The whole time.
Wow. Do y'all still call and keep up with each other, or do y'all?
Just about every week, he wants to know, what we're looking like in the next game here. So
yeah, I've got. I tell you, the next time. Next
he's
time.
Had a lot of connections down there in Florida too. Which is where he built his home. And
is Hester still down there?
Oh yeah, you can't. You're not separating that duo too much down there. Those guys.
Yeah. Of course, they both had great wives. I tell you, David's wife is like your wife. All these teachers hated to see her go because they loved them so much.
Yep. Well, they love what they're doing. Which are most of the teachers. The school system, the elementary school, middle school, and the high school have just dedicated teachers that have been in the business for a long time. They start off really when they're young, but they last, which is.
One of the guys you coached, played is one of the teachers now.
I think he's at the high school now.
Yeah, that's right, Faison.
Yep.
Oh, Tim Faison.
Yeah,
Tim graduated high school with me.
Yep. He was on the. He was in the 258.
Yeah, that's right.
Of course, Don Maestri, ladies and gentlemen. Don, it was amazing, though, the players y'all were able to bring to Troy. My son Mike and I talk about it all the time. Players that really were very good, and you were able to get them to come to Troy. Everybody said, well, we got to build a new gym. And we did build a new gym, which is great. But, boy, a lot of people miss that old Sartain Hall. I had a guy yesterday said it hadn't been the same since they left Sartain Hall.
Well, we had a great home court atmosphere, and we played. And, of course, we had great guys that, David was really Felix was the co-coach of the team, but then we got Billy Jeffcoat in.
Oh, yeah.
He brought in Dedrick Golden, which saved our job.
Oh, yeah. brought a little guard in. If you looked at him walking down the street, you said, oh, man, that guy can't help you.
And he only had 1 year, and he won us a conference championship right off the bat. And but I was watching all these playoff games over the weekend, how the mid-major schools like Troy and all, you get in those tournaments. And we won the conference 5 times and played on ESPN 5 times, but only won the tournament 1 time.
Yeah. It is sad.
How difficult it is to get into the NCAA tournament from that level, from the mid-major level. Right. Like here at Alabama, at Texas A&M, we got 8 teams from the SEC, which is the best in the history of the SEC going to the big dance. And believe me, all 8 teams are really, really good, including us.
Yeah, well, one of the guys.
At the level, it's sad that you miss out that people don't realize for a month and a half to 2 months that you were the top and the most fun team to watch for 2 months, and then in one weekend they forget sometimes that we had a great year.
I tell you what, I saw Lafayette play and I saw Georgia State play. Of course, Troy beat Georgia State twice, and it was hard to believe after you watched them on TV. Georgia State had a very good basketball team, but Lafayette had a very good team. Don't you think they deserve to go more than some of those teams up in the East, you know?
Well, it's just not. It's never going to be. You're never getting but one team from the Sun Belt.
I know, and it's sad. I mean, didn't you think Lafayette was good? Did y'all play them?
No. Lafayette was by far the best team in the league, and that's what I'm talking about with the tournaments. Anything can happen in a tournament.
Right.
But if they would ask me, would you trade 2 months of fun for 1 weekend of fun, I would take the 2 months.
Oh, yeah, exactly right.
The fans are going to get all excited by being in the big dance and the publicity that you get for a whole week, 1 week. But if you're talking about coming to Sartain Hall for 2 months and watching 80 to 90%, we won in 31 years 75% of the home games.
And you know what? You got to win at home. You're exactly right, and that was a key to your success.
31 years, if you came to the Troy games, every 4 games you saw 3 wins over 31 years.
And then another thing, Coach, you were able to do so many things. One thing, and these guys have to talk to you about this. You know, how do you score 258 points, but how do you score average 122 points a game, Troy averaged back then per game for the season? And how do you do that? Now, I know you do it shooting the 3, but where did you get, of course, those 2 little old guys from Kentucky, if you saw them walking down the street, the last thing in the world you would thought that they played basketball.
Yeah, well, we were fortunate. We couldn't do it but for a few years because you have to have great shooters, and we were lucky enough with David and Billy Jeffcoat and Anthony Sewell, and we just had great guys working, all of us working together to get players to come to Troy.
How did you get number 25 from Atlanta, Georgia? How did you get him to come to Troy?
Well, we were, again, there's a lot of breaks that go your way too, you know. Some of the big schools got off of him because they were worried about him being eligible with his grades, so we got in at the last minute. And
tell us his name, Coach.
Darryl Thomas.
Darryl Thomas.
And NCAA tournament. And there's a picture, it's probably in the men's locker room, of we went to the NCAAs for the first time ever, and he won the games for us up in Virginia in the NCAA playoff. Well, the way they had it then, the third game was going to be played in a certain region. That region that year happened to be us, and we played Gannon.
Yeah, I remember Gannon coming to town. I remember Gannon coming on a Saturday or Sunday.
And it was televised, and there's a picture, and you will see people's faces that lived in Troy, Alabama, that you have never seen in another basketball game. Everybody was excited to come, and it was a packed house, and the last bucket of the game, we scored 100 points and advanced to the Final Four in Springfield, Massachusetts.
And, Coach, if
I'll never forget that game because of all the townspeople that showed up that really weren't basketball fans, but they were just so excited that we were in the NCAA tournament and hosted it.
And Coach, he averaged over. I want to say he averaged over 20 points a game for 2 years, and he's not in the Hall of Fame yet. I told him, I said, you might ought to do away with it if you don't put him in the Hall of Fame. God, was he a great player. And, Coach, he could play for anybody, anywhere, too. Don't you agree?
Oh, no doubt. I mean,
and a class kid. He was a classy young man. I mean, but your folks were not thugs. Coach, I don't remember a thug on your team.
Well, we were smart enough to stay out of the newspaper.
Did you? I mean, what I'm saying, did you ever make a mistake on the quality of person?
Yes, you can't judge the character perfectly. So we had some mistakes. We had some problems over the years, but we were fortunate that
you hit them pretty good.
Yeah, that's important.
What happened was they were surrounded by a lot of good people. You know,
you told them if they didn't act right. You told them if they didn't act right, you're going to send them over to Wiley Locklear's place and make them work.
They had to go work over at Hendricks.
Yeah, he said if you don't act right, we're gonna send you to work at Hendricks. You know, the Russians sent you to the salt mines, and you sent them to Hendricks.
Yeah, but we had great times. I mean, and again, like I said, there was so many times that we won the league that we didn't go to the NCAA tournament. The last one was when we won the Sun Belt and with Michael Vogt and Brandon Hazard and those kids.
Yeah.
In 2010, and lost to North Texas in the championship game, and it was just the sickest feeling we ever had. But the 2 months were just some of the best times we ever had.
Well, I tell you what, when we first went to the NCAAs, I remember that gym, the CBS cameras, I think it was CBS or ESPN, came to Troy, and it was I don't know if, of course, you've seen a lot of environments, but ladies and gentlemen, you couldn't have got an extra person in that gym.
Right.
And you remember that when they made the announcement, and boy, that band started playing, and gosh, that was one of the great moments of all time in Troy sports history.
I agree.
Johnny Williams knew some ESPN people, and we were the band for the show on ESPN. Our house band, they called it. The Troy band was the band for the ESPN that night, and they televised it from our arena, from Sartain. Our crowd was phenomenal. We got great coverage. They have people, Kermit Davis, when we got into the Sun Belt.
Oh, yeah.
Years later, Kermit said, I'll always remember that. How'd you get that on ESPN with the pep band and all of that stuff?
I know it. I know it.
There was a lot of people that watched it. Well, everybody watched that show.
All right. Now listen. Please, now, if I lose you, I want you to call me back. I got a guy coming in here on hold, and let's see if I can get him.
All right.
Hold on a second.
Hold first.
Okay, you both on? Don, you're on, aren't you?
Yeah.
All right, Mike, you on?
Still lost 2.
All right, maybe we'll get him next time. Of course, Don Maestri, former head basketball coach at Troy, is on. And Don, don't give me. All right, here we go. We're gonna try it one more time, Coach. Hold on a second.
Hold.
Gonna put you on hold.
That should be it.
Mike, are you on? All right, let's see here. I had him, I think. All right, you on, Mike?
This is Will. How you doing?
All right, Will. We got Coach Don Maestri on the phone, on the other phone. How you doing?
Good. I bet he remembers my daddy, Buddy Matthews.
I bet he does. I'm trying to put you on. If I miss you, just call me back. Here we go.
All right.
All right, right here. I'm going to have to go back to him.
Don's on 1.
All right, there we go. Will.
Hello.
There's Coach.
All right, I got you. All right, Coach.
Okay. All right.
Coach, of course, it's been, you had those great teams and those great moments, and, of course, going to the playoffs. Of course, one thing I know was a heartbreak of all the times I've ever seen it done. One of the biggest injustices of all time in college basketball was the night you took your team to Springville, Massachusetts in the Final Four of Division II, and you had to play New Hampshire, was it? Wasn't it New Hampshire?
We played New Hampshire in the semifinal, and that game went triple overtime. I think it was 120 to 116, but then we had to get up the next morning at 11 to play on CBS for the national championship.
And played Cal State Bakersfield, wasn't
it? Cal Bakersfield, but that helped Division II basketball because the game was poorly played by both teams. And what happened, after that, they've always had a day in between the national championship game now and the semis in Division II, where you don't play back-to-back. It's kind of like the Division I now.
I want to say that game was not over till almost 12 o'clock, Coach. I want to say it lasted a real long time, too.
It was probably 10, 11 o'clock at night by the time we finished. And that hurt because nobody knew we would be on the next day because they didn't know if we won. So all the players were calling back home to tell them we were going to be on CBS.
Yeah.
And everybody back in Troy would be trying to notify them. And we didn't. Then we would meet on who we were playing at 1 in the morning, and it was just.
It was unreal.
Not good to have that for the quality of basketball played by both teams. You know, so from then on, the next year they always put a day off in between the national championship game and the semifinals, so that both teams would get some rest and be able to prepare for the other team.
That's good.
Don, Will Matthews from Ozarks on the other line. We were trying to get switched over to a three-way call, but Will's daddy, Will said you knew his dad, who was a longtime attorney in Ozark. Of course, you knew one of our favorite guys was Cecil Skinner, wasn't it?
Yep, Cecil was, and but he's probably talking about he's talking about Uncle Buddy.
Yeah. How'd you know him?
One of the great lawyers in Ozark.
That's right.
In the state of Alabama.
That's right. Yeah.
Buddy Williams.
Well, let me see if I can bring him on. Hold on a second here. I'm gonna do it again. Will, is you on?
I am.
All right, he does know your dad, and I'm going to try to get y'all both on if I can. I'm having hard.
I'm both blinking.
Okay, I think I got both of you now. You on, Will?
No.
Coach Maestri, are you on?
Maestri's on.
All right, Will, you on?
Will's gone.
I think Will.
Lost Will, but we'll catch him later. Of course, John Maestri is on the phone, and of course, he had so many great years at Troy, and God, there he is again. He don't want to leave. He wants to talk to you because you know his daddy. Hold on a second. We're going to go to a hold here. Will, is that you?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to try to bring him on in here. There it is, conference.
That's it. See now.
Wait a minute.
Match 2.
Wait a minute. One more time, Don. Are you both on now? Don, are you on?
I'm on.
Don, are you on?
I think we lost him.
Oh, gosh. We lost Coach Maestri. Don, it doesn't look like it's going to work, Will. Everything going good with you?
That's good. Will he call back? Or
yeah, he's calling back right now.
Let's try this.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead then.
But you, Coach?
Coach, we got you back.
No,
Coach,
it's me.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that's Mike Amos. We're all right. Go right there. Yeah. We're gonna have 3 of you on in a minute.
Who we got? Nobody.
Okay, there we go. All right, we got Will and Mike, or Will and Coach. Coach, you on?
I hope you got Coach on.
Coach, you're on, aren't you?
Yeah.
All right, we got you both on. Coach, we're talking to Will Matthews from Ozark, and he claims that you knew his daddy.
I knew him, and
Buddy, they call him Buddy Matthews.
That's right, Uncle Buddy. Uncle Buddy.
Well,
I bet my daddy went to at least 25 or 30 Final Fours.
Wow.
Yes, indeed.
Now I know the rest of the story. Ladies and gentlemen, now I know the rest of the story because Don Maestri has been to how many straight?
I don't know. John Harris and I went to about 22 in a row.
But your daddy went and got his tickets through Don, is that right?
No. Buddy's better connected than me.
Hey, that's pretty connected, Will. Did you know that?
Well, I'll tell you something about my dad. My dad had 10 season tickets to Vanderbilt basketball for 30-something years, and when he would give them to the coach, whoever the coach was, and in return, like when Coach Skinner was there, when Eddie Fogler was there, they would get him tickets to Final Four, and so he did that for years. Yeah, that's a pretty good move. But he went with me one time. We went to play Mississippi State at Mississippi State, and he came, and I sat him and Todd Carroll on the bench.
Put him on the bench. Hey, now I know why he loved you so much.
Vanderbilt used to beat Mississippi State pretty regularly back when Buddy was.
Now, didn't Cecil Skinner come on some of those trips too? Was Cecil on some of those trips?
You know, he was a big. Vanderbilt is a great basketball school. You know. And not that it's the other sports aren't important, but basketball was just always big time at Vanderbilt and in the SEC. So he was a basketball fan. I mean, he loved basketball and was a fun, super smart, great lawyer. I mean, he was just a fun guy to be around. And,
well, I tell you what, you just made Will Matthews is it the second or the third?
Hey, I'm Junior.
Yeah, Junior. You just made his day, Don.
I don't know. Buddy used to make all of our days.
Hey, Mike, when the tournament used to be just on CBS, and they would start at 11 o'clock in the morning on Thursday and go through, you know, all through the tournament. He would watch every minute of it. He never would leave the TV when the tournament was going on. He watched every game. I mean, it's just
he was a big Tennessee fan, though, wasn't he?
Bandy.
Well, he was head cheerleader at Tennessee.
Yeah. Yeah, he was the head cheerleader at Tennessee. Really? Well, I tell you what, don't you know he loved it though, Don, when when you had the two great ones. What were they at Tennessee?
Yeah, but
Bernie and Ernie. I bet he loved Bernie and Ernie.
No, he hated them. He hated Ray Mears.
Did he really?
Oh yeah, he was Vanderbilt basketball and Tennessee football.
Yeah,
that's what he went to Vanderbilt law school.
Yeah. You know, people don't realize this, Don, but one of the all-time greats at Tennessee lives 25 miles south of here in Enterprise. Elliott.
Sid Elliott.
Sid Elliott played on some of those great Tennessee teams, didn't he?
Yeah, but you know. Vanderbilt, we got a pin this year. We were in the SEC tournament last week and got beat by one of the wild shots by Alabama.
Did you see that, Will, that last second shot by Alabama?
Wow.
It cost us, but we got pins, you know, and it had a 50 on it. And I thought it was 50 years of SEC summer. I didn't realize what that meant until we got back to Texas A&M, and it was the first black player in the SEC was 50 years ago.
Who was it?
He was a Vanderbilt player. Terry Wallace. Wallace. He was at Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I got you.
He was the first black basketball player in the SEC, and so that pin represented that this year at the SEC tournament.
Don, I remember the great Vanderbilt teams. They had the F Troop, Fosnes, Fear, Ford, and Van Bredekoff. Did you coach against them?
Yeah. No, I didn't coach against them, but Van Bredekoff was a great player.
You remember was it on a Sunday or a Saturday afternoon? Vanderbilt came to Tuscaloosa and beat Alabama for the conference championship, and they hit about 19 out of 20 free throws.
I don't remember that game, but it's been you know, basketball is this is probably one of the most exciting weeks in the whole year for sports. Is this March Madness week?
No question.
Starting with the conference tournaments, everybody watches them. Everybody's trying to get into the brackets, and every person in an office is filling out a pool, and then they'll follow us starting tomorrow. Well, we play Friday against Providence, and if we win that, we play Sunday against North Carolina. But starts on a play-in game, and people will start watching from that game, and it'll go all the way to the Final Four in San Antonio. Yeah. It's just one of the most exciting weeks in sports in the United States.
You know, I've been to that Final Four. Johnny Williams, you know, by hanging around Johnny Williams, you know, I got to go to a few Final Fours, and I've been to the one in San Antonio. That's a great venue for the Final Four.
Oh, they finally redid the Alamo Dome for basketball, and it is great because you don't have to. You can walk everywhere. You're on the Riverwalk.
Right.
A lot of restaurants and places to hang out. There's a pep rally that goes down the river with the 4 teams. They have a boat for the band and a boat for the cheerleaders. So there's 8 boats goes down the river. It's a wild. Yeah. If you've never been to a Final Four, everybody should go to at least one.
Don, tell us how you were, great coach at Troy. Won how much? Over 400 games, didn't you?
Yeah, 500.
500, yeah.
Lost 400.
Yeah, okay. But Coach, no, your record was better than that. You had a great record.
But I'm the losingest coach there too. People don't know that.
Yeah, but you were there for 30. Can you believe you were in Troy when you got the job at Troy? Did you think you'd be there 30 years?
Oh no, heck no. That's a hard business to survive in. Like I said, Billy Jeffcoat saved us when we signed Dedrick Golden. We were about to get the moving vans in that year. So every now and then, Darryl Thomas, another All-American, he'd come to when we would tailgate for the football games. And years ago, he would always say he saved our jobs.
Yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, we've thrown out some names, but the greatest of all time was located, and I don't know if you would have realized it at the time, that the greatest player of all time lived about 40 miles down the road at a little Division I, a little Class 1 or 2A team. Isn't that right?
Yeah, he was a player too.
How great was he? How great was the great one?
Well, they're all. It's hard to judge them all. They were all daggone great players, So it was.
What was our guy's name from the county school? The great one.
You talking about Anthony Reed?
Anthony Reed, the great Anthony Reed. Wasn't he one of the greatest players that you ever coached?
Well, he was the leading scorer in school history till this year. I think Wesley Person.
That's right. Yeah.
Somebody called me and did an interview in the Birmingham paper. That person was going to pass him up as the all-time leading scorer.
Yeah. But the unbelievable thing, not only was Reed a great scorer and a great rebounder, he was a terrible free throw shooter. If he would have been a good free throw shooter, he would have averaged close to 30 points a game.
If he was a good free throw shooter, no one would ever have passed.
Oh, no. It's like Maravich. If they'd had the three-point play with Maravich, no telling how many points he would have scored. Right. But then at the same time, if our buddy could have shot free throws, and he was fouled a bunch, and he went to the line a bunch, didn't he?
Oh, he was the hardest basketball player maybe that we had so many.
But he played hard. Gosh, he played hard.
He got more rebounds on the floor than most people get in the air. He went after every ball.
Exactly.
So that competitive, that's why not only you're good, but that's why you win.
And then y'all brought in a kid from New York that couldn't play, and then when he left, he was one of the best centers in the country. And then that big bald-headed kid, what was his name, that played center, was such a horse? Remind me of Charles Barkley.
Oh, probably Tony Holly.
Yes, exactly, Tony Holly. Gosh.
Europe for a long time. LaMaine Wilson was a great player for us, won us a championship.
All right, he was the kid that was he? Now he wasn't the one that came out of Memphis, was he? That was the guard that came out of Memphis.
No, that's the little guard came out of Memphis. But we had another kid, Greg Day, Ben Fletcher, who's still there.
Oh yeah, he was a great one, wasn't he?
Was a great three-point shooter and a great assistant coach. You know, he, like I said, we had. We just had a good thing going for years and years and years. And the good thing about our program, for me personally, was that we had so many people involved besides just the players or the coaches.
Oh, yeah.
We had a community involved. And, I used to go to church over at St. Martin's. And when I first went there, they had Miriam Black and Trudy Schroeder and John Archer and all of these people. And then next thing you know, they were coming to games.
Oh, yeah. No question about it. It was unreal.
Over the years, and that was 35 years ago now.
All right, now, tell us your story now. Of course, I saw you in Bird Drugs one morning, and, I going to eat breakfast there this morning. And, of course, they don't have anything like that in College Station, do they? With a milkshake like that, do they?
No, they really don't. But Texas A&M is an unbelievable university.
Tell us about that school and tell us how huge it is.
Well, they've just, with the new grad students and all, we're up to 60,000.
60,000 students on campus.
That's crazy.
Isn't that right, on campus?
Yeah,
How do you get a doggone parking place?
You can't. You got to have a special permit. But the beautiful thing about this university is that it has kept its traditions. If there was ever a school that represents the United States of America, that's not a military school like Annapolis or West Point. This Texas A&M is so unique. Its value system, the students, when they arrive as freshmen, they have about a 10-day period where they go to what they call fish camp. They learn the songs. They learn the traditions. They go back to World War I. They have generals that went here. Obviously, a lot of wealth because it was an engineering school. All business. We have millionaires and billionaires. I mean, our endowment is like 7th in the nation. It's at $9 billion.
Oh gosh.
$9 billion.
Oh gosh.
Traditional values of loyalty, integrity, selfless service, which is printed on those kids' foreheads when they come in. They preach it. They make you understand it. That's why there's so many millionaires, in my opinion, who give back to this university.
Now, you were just sitting around one day, and a friend of yours called you that you've known a long time. Tell us how you got to Texas A&M.
Well, the coach, Billy Kennedy, was at Holy Cross when I was at Holy Cross. So
Are you serious? Did you coach him, or did he coach with you?
No, I never actually coached him. He was came into the basketball program, but I had followed him his career. He was at 9 different schools before he got the A&M job. So.
Golly.
Wow. You know,
wasn't he at Murray State?
He was at Murray
State.
Yeah, Murray State, yeah.
Murray State, and matter of fact, his team, they have the best record in the history of Murray State, and then he got the Texas A&M job from there. So I've known Bill for a long time. I was fortunate that he invited me to come here because, you know, coaching is just a great thing to do. It keeps you young mentally. I listened to Krzyzewski the other day. He's 71 years old, Mike Krzyzewski.
Yeah.
And he said that he doesn't feel like it mentally. You just don't, and you don't.
He's truly a fine person, isn't he?
Yeah. And he said till he looks in the mirror and he thinks he's 81. But when you're coaching your same age kid year after year, 30 years ago the kids were in their 20s. I go to practice today and the kids will be in their 20s. So it's a great profession. If you love basketball and you love to be able around, you constantly stand up with the times. I mean, it's really, you know, I've been fortunate. I'm grateful that I was even able to come here.
But it had to be an excitement in your life. I know how old you are. You're over 70 years old. I'm not going to get into it, but you know, you're as young as you've ever been, Don. You never age, man.
Well, that's what, like I said, marry young.
Yeah, exactly right. Now, Don, tell us about, of course, you know, one thing about it, like we said, the athletic program there has unlimited funds. Isn't it unreal fun? You were in Troy for 30 years, and you didn't know if you'd have enough toilet paper in the bathroom.
Wasn't that bad?
Well, no, I'm being facetious. But what I'm saying, isn't it unreal to be at a place where there's unlimited funds?
Well, you're really spoiled, to be honest with you, at this level. You fly like we played Auburn and had a great game this year and beat them there, and then we get on a private jet afterwards. We're back home at 12 o'clock that night, you know. I mean, it's so different than riding a bus to, say, Tennessee Martin, and you're coming back in at 6 in the morning and you're telling the players, hey, I want you in class at 8 o'clock.
That's right. You're exactly right. Yeah. So, you know, hey, the Wise boys, boy, you made their day at Auburn the other day.
Yeah, they were there. They came out.
The Wise boys, you know, they're one of your favorites anyway, aren't they?
Shoot, they started with us when we started at Troy.
I know, those redheads. They
came to every game. They were some of our biggest supporters when it was wild.
Right.
And like I said, we had so many people, you know, that just stayed with us the whole time and enjoyed. Because you don't travel in this league, people don't go on the road and go watch you play much. Maybe Tim McGee,
that's right. He was at the game too.
Yeah.
Tim McGee would go to Middle Tennessee and watch it.
That's right. He was at the. They put the cameras on him at the Sunbelt.
They should, because he's one of the loyal fans.
No question.
He's what they call a fanatic.
You're right.
Fan for short, but fanatic a little bit longer.
You're right.
But he's a Troy, true and blue for Troy.
Well, it's almost like you've been reborn. All right, you were out of coaching. You were going. You spent a lot of time at the church. You're working with your Catholic church here in Troy, and then you up and go, and you've got a big, nice environment. It has to be like a new, like you're reborn as a coach.
Well, it's been exciting. It's been educational. Like I said, the school at this university, we have a corps still of cadets. And like we will have conditioning sometimes in the morning with our strength coach at 6. So at 5:30, I'm riding over there, and then along comes a bunch of students jogging with the corps.
Yeah.
At 5:30 in the morning.
Wow. Now, of course, their ROTC program is probably one of the tops in the country. Wouldn't you say?
Oh, it's shoot. We got, like I said, there's guys that became generals from Texas A&M.
And you left one of the great bands in America, in the Sound of the South, and then you go to Texas A&M. Who perhaps is the greatest band of all time in the United States. I think they marched 500 or something. Is it all male, or do they now let females in it?
No, it's all. They're all in uniform.
Are they all male now? Are they?
I think so, yeah. And they march those.
Oh yeah, they're in uniform.
And,
what you notice more about them is those brown boots, those knee-high boots.
Yeah.
But we have females in there too now, and
yeah,
they're just. We have. It's an unbelievable place.
Hey, want a little additional time?
Yeah.
See. Hey, one thing though I got to know, and I appreciate your time this morning, Don. It's been a pleasure. But look, they've got a tradition there at Texas A&M in football where they have the 12th man, and when Texas A&M scores, the girlfriend's supposed to kiss, or the guy kisses his girlfriend. Well, I've always wondered, why if a girl got a blind date and the guy was ugly, does she still have to kiss him?
She just turns the other way to the other guy.
Does she really? I've always wondered when a girl didn't want to kiss that guy.
Their student body here, and they haven't had the success that say Alabama Auburn football, but when they're playing football, we can get down by 30. They don't leave.
Yeah.
They're the most.
They're dedicated, aren't
they? Nick Saban said if he had the Texas A&M student body, because he loves people to stay for the whole game.
Oh yeah.
This place here now, loyalty is just unbelievable now.
Yeah.
Win or lose, it's incredible. We'll have the whole alumni group watching us. We play Friday, I think, at noon against Providence, and I'm telling you, they'll be representing hundreds of thousands of alums from Texas A&M.
Well, now they sell alcohol at every Troy event, every baseball, basketball, and football. Do they do that at Texas A&M?
No, but I think that's being looked at, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I was just wondering.
There were some seasons that I was on the bench that I wish I'd have gone up to the concession stand and had a drink.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Now, the football coach is a guy that you had to know a little bit of, didn't you?
Oh yeah, heck yeah. Neil did a great job, and Neil, people don't realize Neil loves basketball.
Oh yeah.
He's a big basketball fan. Kentucky guy. Heck, if you're born in Kentucky. You better love basketball.
And of course, looking at Troy now on the outside end, what do you feel? How do you feel about Troy's total program now?
Oh, it's always. Troy. It's a unique place, and I think it's going to be cyclical. You're going to have good years and bad. You can't just because people don't realize other teams want to win too.
Yeah, I know it. You're exactly right. Now, let me ask you this real quick. The SEC, the parity in the SEC, I can't think of a time ever where most everybody was good.
This is the first time. This is the first time that Kentucky could lose to the 12th place team.
Yeah,
that's never happened before. They could lose to the second or fourth or third place team. They would never lose to the bottom team. Yeah. This year, anybody in this league could beat you.
Tell us who the toughest venue to go on the road to play in the SEC.
Well, there's a bunch of them. I've said Tennessee, Kentucky. Auburn has created an environment there that I think is one of the best. I thought they were smart when they built a smaller, new arena.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
And, you could pack it in and get the fan. And they put their students on the court, which I also think is a great move.
Duke does that, and Duke's had a lot of success with that, haven't they?
Duke has, and it was something that I thought would be a great idea for Troy. To try to get the students involved more. To put them
we still need to do something about that.
It's just an idea, but and I tell you, the place that I went this year for the first time that was absolutely as exciting the places I've ever been. That was at Kansas when we played Kansas.
Oh, University of Kansas! It's one of the top 5 programs in the nation. Wouldn't you say?
That and the tradition, they still have the bleachers. Naismith coached there, who invented basketball, and Fog Allen.
So Fog Allen is an old place. Is it a real old place?
It's the same, yeah. Oh, it's very old, but very old. The clock and score and all that stuff, but the seats and all, they still have bleachers. They're not chairbacks.
Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
Mike, can I tell Coach my Kansas story?
Yeah.
I had a deposition near Kansas. It was at Fort Leavenworth, and so anyway, my dad said, "Why don't you go to a Kansas game while you're out there?" And so he called Eddie Fogler, who was at Vandy, and Eddie coached with Roy Williams at North Carolina. They're big buddies. And so he called Roy Williams, and Roy Williams got me a ticket on the front row in Fog Allen, and guess who they were playing? Kentucky.
Wow. Oh, no.
It was unbelievable. I mean, and the game ended up like 98 to 96 or something. I mean, it was just a phenomenal basketball game.
Yeah.
But Roy Williams told Eddie Fogler, said, "Eddie, we're friends, but my God, that's the biggest ticket we've ever He in there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice guy.
Yeah. Now, Don, let me ask you this, Don.
I'm telling you what, that atmosphere in there, it's
incredible.
I mean, when you warm up, you want to play even though you're the opponent. That's how exciting it is.
So you know the rest of the story. Now you tell everybody the rest of the story. Why it's such a great program. Thomas Bowling, though, holds 25,000 people. They don't fill it up, do they?
Oh, yes, they do too.
And we're talking about Tennessee. They'll put 25,000 in there.
Yes, indeed. Tennessee now, they got a great atmosphere.
I know it's a huge. I'm correct though. They hold 25,000, don't they?
I don't think it's bigger than Rupp. It's bigger than Rupp, but it was packed when we played.
Yeah.
It was packed. And but again, they're winning.
Yeah.
And winning brings in crowds too. You have to win to get a lot of it in those kind of. Now Kentucky, it doesn't make any difference. They're going to pack it when they go on the road. They're going to pack the other team's place. You know, and Kentucky's like Pistol Pete Maravich. He's the only guy that when he went on the road in the SEC,
they filled it up.
The opponents played back.
Oh, I saw him play in Auburn and in Tuscaloosa. He scored over 60 both times.
Wow.
Don, I tell you, this is a pleasure, and I tell you what, I'll be able to run this show many times over again, over the years. But Don,
say hi for me too.
I'll do that.
And Don, one quick question. You know, Texas A&M's a huge football school. They hold over 102,000 at the games. Yep. But basketball is quite popular too. Do y'all fill it up?
We've had great crowds this year. We've had 13, 14, 15,000 some games, and that's like when we played the big, Kentucky or Alabama, and all we had great crowds in Tennessee.
And of course now y'all recruit nationwide pretty much, don't you?
Oh yeah. And then we got football. We just got Jimbo Fisher. Football coach.
He's a great guy.
Yeah. Steve, you guys need to get to be his lawyer or agent or something because he's getting a pretty good paycheck.
He sure is. I heard he was. Hey, I know it. And now I'm sure your basketball coach is good.
$75 million.
Huh?
$75 million is what they got the bargain price for to get him.
Amazing.
Oh boy, isn't that unreal? Well, that's something. Well, I tell you what, it's been a pleasure. And hey, I know it's got good restaurants. Are there any good Cajun restaurants there? Now, let me tell you, your jambalaya and your bread pudding was the best I've ever eaten.
Well, there's, believe it or not, I was stunned.
See, he used to feed us, jambalaya. You remember every year you would feed us.
We had a little Cajun party to start the basketball season off with, but it was surprising to me that the people in this town love crawfish. I've never seen as many crawfish places. It's amazing. In College Station, Texas.
Yeah.
Barbecue, or steak or whatever.
Yeah.
I'd see, but they love, this is a unique little town now.
It's Bryan, do they call it Bryan, Texas, or College Station? Which one do they go by?
Both. Bryan is like a divider, like in New Orleans there's Metairie, and then there's New Orleans, but everybody from there says you're from New Orleans, so Bryan is right connected with College Station.
The king of them all has got to be John David Crow. Is that right? Who's bigger, John David Crow or Bear Bryant?
Well, Crow, being the first Heisman Trophy, was the only until Manziel won it.
That's right.
Crow was a legend. He just passed away.
I didn't know that.
I think a year ago.
Talking about Manziel, is he still around?
Yeah, he came to our Kentucky game, as a matter of fact, and they've had him on. People still love Manziel here.
Oh yeah, he's a great player. I would love to watch him play. I hope he. Do you think he'll try to come back?
I think he'll give it a shot, but he's one of the all-time players.
Yeah, exactly.
He was exciting to watch in college. Even Saban thought he was one of the most competitive college players that they ever played against.
I got to ask you this. Do you think y'all will play well against the Friars? You know you're playing Friars. Now, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. As good a Catholic as you are, y'all are playing the Friars.
I'll be going to Mass that morning.
Hey, I know you miss your priest here. There was such a great guy for a long time. What was his name?
Oh, we had 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah, but one that loved basketball so much. What was his name? His brother.
Yeah, oh, golly, I can't believe I went to confession to him so many times.
I know. Hey, of course, you know one thing about it? You didn't have to use profanity to win. I never did hear a whole lot of profanity from your bench.
Well, that's what happens when you win a lot.
That's exactly right. Well, listen, this has been a treat, I'm telling you. And, hey, can we call you and talk to you again sometime?
Yeah, hopefully, we're fortunate enough to win Friday against Providence and then play Carolina on Sunday.
Oh, man, won't that be something? Do you feel like your team can play with them?
When we play well, we play with anybody. This is our schedule this year, just for people they don't realize this. Our exhibition, we had a scrimmage game against Gonzaga.
Oh, gosh.
And then the hurricane hit, so they had a fundraiser, and we played Texas in a fundraising game.
Uh-huh.
2 teams that are in the tournament. Out of conference schedule, we played Southern Cal. We opened up the season with the Armed Services game in Germany against West Virginia.
Y'all went to Germany?
Yeah.
Wow.
We opened up with West Virginia.
Oh, how did y'all do against them? Did y'all play them pretty good?
We beat them.
You beat West Virginia.
Oh, yeah. We beat Southern Cal. We beat Oklahoma State. We beat Penn State. We lost by 3 to Arizona at Arizona. So when you look at our...
You're right.
Y'all had a good year.
We've had an unbelievable... And then you get into the conference, and there's 4 or 5 teams ranked in the conference, like Kentucky and Alabama and Missouri, and Auburn was ranked. When we played Auburn, I think they were 2nd or 3rd in the nation.
You know, if Auburn hadn't had those injuries and had those players have to sit out, they would have a team that could be a Final Four team. Don't you agree?
And they still could to get on the roll because when they're shooting it well, they're really, really good. Right. They have a unique style of play.
Yeah.
They play fast and fun to watch.
Exactly right.
But
well, listen. Why don't you see if your coach will throw us a bone and let us play y'all one time.
Hey,
we'll all come out there. We'll all come out there.
Believe me, I'm not in control of scheduling, but it'd be fun to have a bunch of people come out.
That would be
well, nice. I've been to Las Vegas with you. I've been to Chicago with you. Listen, I've been all over the country. I've been to New Orleans with you. No better place for Don Maestri to be than New Orleans, your hometown.
Well, that was the other thing we did with Detroit basketball program. We worked hard because of the budget.
That's right.
Play in people's tournaments, and they would pay for you to come. We played in the Virgin Isles. We played in Paris.
Oh, man.
In Vancouver. We played in the Bahamas. We stayed at the Atlantis. It never cost us to do anything. We were given guarantees if we get in the tournament. Now, we had to be in there with bigger schools.
Yeah.
But what we did every year was find places that our players could visit. Like we played Buffalo, where we'd take them to Niagara Falls. When we played Florida Atlantic and all, we stayed on the beach. When we played Miami, we took them down to the Strip.
Oh yeah, you made it fun, and that's how you recruit. You recruit that way, don't you?
Yeah, we played in a tournament in Alaska.
Oh boy.
We had 6'7" guys riding in dog sleds. It was all of our players. They may remember the basketball parts, but they'll also remember all the trips.
Yeah.
My first year at Troy, I went to Robert Earl and told him we were going in Orlando to play. And he said, "Well, I don't know about the budget." Robert Earl, he wasn't.
Oh yeah, he was tight now.
Money man.
He was great with that darn pencil. He never used that eraser.
He would pencil whip you, wouldn't he?
Yeah, and I said, "No, you don't have to pay. I got to pay for the tournament sponsor. They're going to pay our way and all." Well, we took that team with Mac Madison, who was leading the league, to Disney World.
Oh man!
And we rode the rides. I mean, we did. If I ever wrote down the 31 years of trips, not counting the conferences, because we were in all these different conferences. We went to Chicago, New York, Indiana. I mean, we went everywhere. Florida, Atlanta. We played a game in San Diego State that Bill Walton was at. His son was on the team.
Oh man!
And Montana. We took the ski slopes up there just so they could.
Isn't that amazing? Boy, you ought to write a book. You ought to write a book. You talk about Mac Madison. He's a Hall of Famer in my book.
Yeah.
Don't you think, Coach?
I realize there's all those things that we did in the 31 years that had nothing to do with the leagues we were in. All the trips that were taken that were paid for. I mean, we went to Canada, to Vancouver, and played games. One of the prettiest trips. That city was just not Vancouver was nice, but the other one that's so pretty with all the flowers.
Exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So, Coach, we took them there on with a boat, and so we had incredible times.
You really did.
We went to New York a couple of times. Where I'd take them we'd go to the Empire State Building. We'd go to a pro NBA game.
Exactly. You made it fun.
Yeah. When we played Central Florida, we'd take our players to see the Orlando Magic.
Exactly.
We'd get tickets.
One of the worst losses in Troy history was at Central Florida. You remember that afternoon we played down there, and we got upset by Mercer. Mercer upset us. That had to be one of the most heartbreaking losses of all time to me.
They still have my clothes.
Because we were better than they were. That was, what I'm saying. We were better than they were.
Oh, we were better, and we had just beat them by 30-something points the game before. That was a weird thing, but that was one of the most sickening. You do remember some of those sickening losses.
Well, that was probably out of all of them that I can remember right off the bat. That was a heartbreaker, there. But hey, Alabama, the victories outweighed the defeats by many, many times.
Oh yeah, we so fortunate. We've had so many good times and so many good people in the program, players and coaches. We all shared in it. It really wasn't any head coach deal. We were all kind of just part of the whole.
Yeah. I know you get $1,000 a minute, and I do appreciate this. I'm gonna send this bill to Ben Beard or somebody to take care of it for me.
Hey, Benny took care of me too a lot of times.
Hey, you know what? Let me tell you this, Don Maestri. You will always be beloved in Pike County, Alabama, my friend. I promise you.
Well, it's been a great part of my life. 31 of the happiest years of my life. So.
Well, I tell you what, you were a great one, and you still are, and you're still a Trojan. You're still a Trojan. I don't care what you say.
That's right.
And hopefully you get to see us Friday against Providence.
Hey, we'll watch you, buddy, and we'll root for you hard. How do you feel? Do you feel good about that game?
Oh yeah. I think if we play well, we'll win.
What time's the game?
You never know how you
12 noon.
play. I don't care what they say. Everybody, that's the first days where they have all the upsets.
Right. Oh yeah, no question about it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Don, thank you so much for your generosity.
Yes, sir.
Good talking to you.
You too. Thanks for all you did for Troy over the years too.
Thank you, Don. We'll be talking to you later here.
Okie doke.
Thank you very much. Don Maestri, ladies and gentlemen, and what a guy!
Wow,
what a guy! I know it was a long interview without talking about our sponsors were on the screen, and ladies and gentlemen, you'll watch this film numerous times.
That's right.
Because this was quite an interview, a long interview.
You know, just for
fun.
him to be able to get hired at Texas A&M shows the caliber.
Oh yeah.
Person and coach
Oh
that he
yeah.
really
Oh
is.
yeah. Hey, listen, that was the smartest move that coach ever made.
Absolutely.
And just think of the knowledge, no question.
No.
We'll be talking more about the Final Four, or not the Final Four, but March Madness tomorrow, right here on this show. Thank you so much, Stephen.
Yes, sir. Enjoyed it.
Hope you've enjoyed it. We'll be with you again at 1:30 today. Tell your friends to listen in on this conversation at 1:30, and we'll see you again bright and early in the morning.
Life is hectic enough without worrying if your lights will stay on or if there's hot water for your child's bath. So count on natural gas to keep the energy flowing, even when the weather is unpredictable. Natural gas is always there to keep your home warm, showers hot, and food cooked to perfection. That's why America has relied on safe and affordable natural gas for more than 150 years. And we will be here for you and future generations too. You can count on natural gas from Southeast Alabama Gas District.
The new Smokehouse Pizza from Little Caesars is our first pizza with 3 smoked meats. So we got barbecue champion Big Mo Quezon to test it out. 8-hour smoked brisket.
Certified beefified.
10-hour smoked pulled pork.
Certified hoggified.
Applewood smoked bacon.
Certified baconfied.
Drizzled with tangy barbecue sauce plus a smokehouse seasoned crust.
Certified smokified.
The new Smokehouse Pizza. Only $9 and only at Little Caesars.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Here at Town & Country, we are proud to be an American.
We've had you covered on the inside since 2005, and with our addition of Southern Grill and Patio, we now have you covered on the outside. Come see our great selection, where we make sure grilling and relaxing go hand in hand.
If you've had an accident or just want a new look for your vehicle, come see us at Troy Paint and Body, where we do it right the first time. Our staff has more than 100 years combined experience and can handle repairs and paint work on any make or model. We also offer a lifetime guarantee as long as you own your vehicle. Now that shows we stand behind our work. And our 24-hour towing service means we're here when you need us. So come see us at Troy Paint and Body, located on South Brundage Street in Troy beside the post office. Troy Paint and Body, where we may meet by accident, but you'll be glad we did.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. We got more time left on our show. I didn't realize that I didn't know if we changed our time around or not.
That's right. We got about 12 more minutes.
But Steve comes in and tells us we got a little more time. Troy travels to UAB tonight, Mike. It ought to be fun to go out and watch that. Troy's 11-5, UAB 6-8, and Troy beat them 3-2 at real pace. I tell you what.
I saw where UAB has the all-time series record at 27-26. So if Troy wins tonight, they can even that out.
Yeah. Wow.
I had no idea that UAB had beat Troy. I know they beat a lot of Pierce record. I didn't have that.
Well, you know what? Let me tell you this. I sure do wish I could see my little grandbaby. I might just drive up there.
Well, you're more welcome to come on up.
JUCO transfer Sadler Goodwin will make his first career start on the mound for Troy. Goodwin.
Do you want to watch a baseball game in the 40s? I don't know if that'd be a lot.
I know, you're right. I don't believe I do. Do they televise those games?
I don't think they televise it. They'll be on the radio, though.
Let me tell you something I found out now, ladies and gentlemen. Saturday, when Troy played, was it Saturday or Friday? Friday, when Troy played Georgia State. I didn't know how to get it at our place at the beach, so I went to Walmart and I invested $35. Mike, tell them what I bought.
I have no idea. You told me about this before.
Well, no, I mean it's what you hook onto your TV and you can get ESPN3.
Yeah, I guess some kind of adapter or something.
Yeah, that's what it was, an adapter, and I was able to see it without any problem.
Really?
And you know, Troy's on ESPN3 so much, everybody needs one of them, you know?
Right.
Did you buy like a Fire Stick or something? Amazon Fire Stick?
No, it wasn't that. It was, well, you just plug it into your TV. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I've got one in my house I very rarely ever use, you know?
I need to figure
yeah,
that
I
out.
mean, it's one of those things that's great to have. I mean, you got to have the internet in the actual, you know, place you're watching it to pick it up. So, Maestri explained the relationship with Bill Kennedy. He coached Kennedy in high school.
Yeah, well, he said he knew him in high school
Yeah, he
and followed
didn't say
his
he
career.
coached him, but he talked about it.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I thought he coached him in high school, and that's kind of how the relationship. You know,
He said Kennedy had been to 9 different places.
He had been in Southeast Louisiana, I think, before A&M.
Did he?
Yeah.
And of course, I hope he stays there a long time. And Don is.
Did you talk to? You know, he also has Parkinson's stuff.
No, I should.
Bill Kennedy.
I do need to talk to him about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Kennedy has Parkinson's.
Yeah, he's only in his late 40s.
Oh boy, I sure didn't know that. I need to talk to him sometime.
So did you get Don to call in, or did you talk to him yesterday?
Oh yeah, I talked to him. I was at, of course, we were talking about Don Maestri, and of course I was at dropped by Cheryl Crow's office just to touch base with him and talk about old Troy times, and we were talking about Don, and I said, gosh, I said I need to call him. He said, well, here's his phone, and he called him, and he said he'd call in, and Don Maestri, if he tells you you're going to do something, he'll do it.
That's right.
He is well organized.
That's right.
How many notes, and I always say this, it's very nice to pick up the phone and call somebody and say, I appreciate your help, and I just want to touch base with you. You know what he does? He writes you a note.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anything to me is more impressive than somebody that'll take time to write a note and mail it to you.
Yeah, means a lot.
Sure does, and he does that as well as anybody I've ever been around. And he's made a lot of friends. Anybody that doesn't like Don Maestri doesn't know him very well.
I agree.
He is a great guy, no question about it. And of course, what now?
After they leave A&M, I wonder what their future plans will be.
I don't know. I wouldn't doubt if they didn't come back to Troy. Or
they
have
go
some
down there
presence
close
here.
to where Felix is living down at the beach too. They're pretty tight. So.
Yeah, that's right.
Felix is the head coach at Freeport Hospital down there.
Exactly.
Lives on the beach.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was coaching. He's coaching high school?
He's been coaching high school the last 3 or 4 years.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
it's something called double dipping.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing wrong with that.
Mike, Dr. Thomas Moody's in the paper today, the urologist from Birmingham. He's a friend of ours.
He's my mother-in-law's next door neighbor on Lake Drive. He's a great guy.
And he was here this weekend for a screening, and they do it for free, and they do a great job.
His son-in-law owns one of our favorite restaurants in town called Brick and Tin. You've probably been there, Doug.
What is it now? A restaurant?
Yeah, called Brick and Tin.
Oh,
You've been
yeah.
there, actually. It's over in Mountain Village.
Yeah, no question about it. Of course, we appreciate all of our sponsors, including Troy Nissan on the bypass, and also First Citizens Bank of Luverne, William Petrie and Steve Sanders and all those guys. Anybody that's a Troy person anywhere would have loved that interview.
No doubt.
And we thought we had more time left, and we cut it a little bit short, but we talked to him an hour, I would think.
Yeah, he talked for an hour.
What did Maestri say about Troy? Does he keep up with Troy at all?
Yeah, he does, and he did say though that the Sun Belt will probably never ever have more than one team in the tournament. Yeah. That's sad, isn't it?
Same thing with Conference USA. I mean, look how great.
Hello.
Middle Tennessee State was ranked throughout.
Yeah, I know, and it was a shame they didn't get in the tournament. Now they'll be in the NIT. I was hoping Troy could have gotten in there. What's the other tournament now other than NIT?
You got to have a winning record.
Do you? Well, they have a close to a winning record.
Yeah,
16 and 17.
They're 16 and 17. That's not a winning record.
Yeah.
They would have had to have been 500 at least.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
they'll be a lot better next year if Bernardo stays healthy all year.
Yeah.
When he misses the 7 games, it's just totally different.
Yeah, no question about it.
It's got to be fun for Maestri to start his career in
Yeah, he talked about the tradition out there at Texas A&M and things I didn't know about, which was pretty impressive.
Well, another thing, he says 35,000 students, before every game, they have a pep rally with a bonfire, big bonfire, and 35,000 people come to it.
Yeah, and their facilities are through the roof.
I mean, what I'm saying, they're big time. You know, no question about it.
I sell Adidas, and they're the biggest Adidas school in the country.
Well, gosh.
Didn't he say they have 60,000 students?
See, you know what? He might have wanted to order something from you.
That's right.
No, he didn't have to order. They get everything free.
You know, they have 60,000 students there. I think Ohio State might have more than that.
That's amazing.
But they're one of the largest schools in the country. I think Central Florida has about that much, but they're not all on campus. Right. You know, these at A&M, most of them are on campus.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
It's hard to believe.
No question about it. If you hadn't picked up your catch with this lovely young lady on the front, you need to do so. And we were talking about her. She's played on the softball program at Goshen High School for a long time. And of course, her mom just happened to be the head coach at Goshen, and
Amy Warwick.
Amy Warwick, that's right. And
then her dad, her granddad was the mayor of Goshen, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, that's right.
Jack
and a good
Waller.
friend of mine, Jack Waller, and but of course, very well done.
I bet you he was real well liked when he would pull somebody over as a trooper.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, sir. No question about it. And you know, it's great to be able to look at this magazine and see Kate Warwick on the cover, and Amy Warwick, of course, is the head coach. Other girls on that team.
What did they ever do the other day for the state championship team? How do they honor them?
Well, they were going to do a deal downtown, but the weather was real bad.
They had something. They
did do it.
The girls rode in on a fire truck, and then they downtown on the square at the gazebo and had the mayor and some city council people.
And we're going to be at Hoss Daddy's
sandwiches.
He's going to. We got sandwiches, and we're going to do it at his car wash on Montgomery Street.
Okay.
And we're going to do that at noon on Thursday, and it should be a lot of fun. And the whole team will be out there. Hopefully, I can get them on the air either tomorrow or possibly Thursday.
It'd be good to have them.
And we'll have them on.
That'd be a good idea for you to go to his car wash that with my car before I get it back.
Oh yeah, exactly. No question about it. In fact, I'm gonna get my car washed while I'm there too.
Yeah,
no question about it. Of course, this new magazine that's out, you can pick them up at the Messenger. They do a great job with these magazines,
really
and and of course, it's got all the softball and the baseball teams in Pike County, including Zion Chapel. And Mike, a lot of these uniforms, they probably bought them from you, didn't they?
All from Wagner's Team Sports.
That's good.
Now I don't know who came up with this, but maybe there might not be any team in America that has this on their hats. ZC, Mike. The letters ZC are on the caps.
You don't see two letters up there.
You don't ever see two letters plus ZC.
That's right.
Zion Chapel. That's on the fronts of their hats. It's unusual.
Baseball or softball?
That's baseball.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of those things where the logo is,
ZC, but they have their letters right by themselves. People say, where is ZC?
That's right.
And of course, the girls softball team has a Z.
Actually, more high schools are doing that now. They're doing like the little two initials. Some of them layer.
Of course, Pike Liberal Arts is undefeated in boys baseball right now. They get ready for the big Jonah McWhorter's tournament this weekend. A lot of good teams going to be here, so hopefully our cameras will be out there and catch some of this great baseball from Pike Liberal Arts School. Yep. We hope you've enjoyed our show, ladies and gentlemen, and of course we appreciate Coach Don Maestri calling in from College Station, Texas. And Mike, I hope you have a good weekend, good day, and we'll be in touch with you soon. Mike Amos calling in from Birmingham, and hopefully, of course, Pike County Bank, one of our lead sponsors today, and of course, we appreciate them so much for bringing you our show every day, weekday right here on Channel 2. Hope you enjoyed our show. We'll be on the air at 11:30 today. Have a great day.